with his trainer, Freddie Roach, wearing red, and Pacquiao!
Across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing pink trunks with blue and gold trim, joining us from the beautiful city of San Antonio, Texas. He weighed in at 139 and 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 26 wins, no losses, 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the second defense of his title, ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated, reigning and defending WBA super lightweight champion of the world, introducing Mario Barrios.
There's too much of everything. He just cannot figure out how to get into the fight, how to hold him off.
Oscar is maybe trying to lay a trap, but Manny is too smart for it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Cotto got stunned. He got
Here he comes.
off, and I saw a little look on his face.
Yes.
By Manny Pacquiao taking complete control of the fight in combinations, leaving Cotto.
His nose is really bleeding now. Cotto's face.
Annoy Mayweather. He might have been a little too conservative.
And Haddon's in trouble again. Final 10 seconds of round one, and Haddon's down for the second. Final 10 seconds of round one, and Haddon's down for the second time.
The first round by Manny Pacquiao.
What an impressive first round by Pacquiao.
He has been busy but he's not here. Beautiful combination by Barrios.
It's already good, but again, Barrios being the better fighder and doing
Finger strong movement coming in. Looks like, but right now, there are one or two shots like right now. You really don't. But now when he tough fight like this,
Before stepping into this high-stakes showdown, Manny Pacquiao had already carved out a legacy of destruction, dominating legends like Oscar de la Hoya, Miguel Cotton, and Ricky Hatton with blistering speed, explosive power, and an unbreakable will. On the other side stands Mario Barrios, a fighter no stranger to the spotlight, coming off explosive wins over Giovanni Santiago and Beta Akhmatova, where he showcased relentless pressure and surgical precision. Tonight, both warriors bring their past glory into the ring, ready to write the next chapter in boxing history. Under the blinding lights of the MGM Grand, the moment has arrived. Manny Pacquiao, the living legend, steps forward with the same hunger that built his name. Across from him, Mario Barrios, young, powerful, and laser-focused, is prepared to shock the world. The bell rings. The crowd erupts. History begins to unfold. Every punch, every movement, could alter the course of boxing forever. This isn't just a comeback, it's war. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios, a fight nobody asked for, but now the entire boxing world can't stop talking about. On July 19, 2025, Pacquiao will face WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios at the iconic MGM Grand in Las Vegas, a venue where he's made magic before. But this time, the stakes are different. They're higher, and for many, more unsettling. If Pacquiao wins, he won't just become a world champion again. He'll make history as the oldest welterweight champion ever, breaking the very record he set in 2019 when he defeated Keith Thurman at age 40. But not everyone is cheering. To some, this feels like the grand finale of a legendary career. To others, it's a dangerous illusion. A 46-year-old man risking his health and legacy against a younger, sharper, fully active opponent. The comeback has already divided the sport. No one knows how it ends. But one thing is certain. This isn't just another boxing match. This is boxing. History is being written, one way or another. Manny Pacquiao last stepped into the ring professionally in August 2021, when Yordenis Ugas outpointed him in a fight many believed would be his swan song. After the loss, Pacquiao announced his retirement, turning his full attention to politics and even launching a campaign for the presidency of the Philippines. But retirement didn't last. In 2024, Pacquiao dipped his toes back into combat sports with a kickboxing bout against Rukia Ampo, and it went poorly. He looked sluggish, his timing off, and many fans feared they were witnessing the sad decline of a once great warrior who stayed too long in the game. So when the WBC shockingly reinstated him in the welterweight rankings, eyebrows were raised throughout the boxing world. How does a man who hasn't fought professionally in 4 years get an immediate title shot? Critics didn't hold back. They called it politics. Nostalgia. A cheap stunt to sell pay-per-views. Promoter Frank Warren was especially blunt, saying, "It doesn't sit well with me. This isn't the sport doing this. It's the governing body. Pacquiao's passed his sell-by date. He should be retired." But despite the warnings, the date is set. The posters are printed, and Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the fire. Let's be clear, Mario Barrios isn't some washed-up veteran cashing a check. He's a 30-year-old WBC world champion entering the prime of his career. This is no exhibition. With a professional record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, including 18 knockouts, Barrios is a dangerous mix of volume punching, youth, and hunger. He earned the WBC interim title by defeating the same man who retired Pacquiao, Pacquiao'sg, in 2023. When Terence Crawford vacated the belt, Barrios was elevated to full champion in mid-2024. He's active. He's sharp. He's fought 5 times since Pacquiao last laced up gloves. And he's hungry for that defining moment, a signature victory that cements his place in the sport. Barrios knows what this fight means. He's not underestimating Pacquiao. Training under the legendary Virgil Hunter and sparring with elite fighters like Amir Khan, Barrios is coming fully prepared. His speed, youth, and power give him every physical edge heading into this fight. Some fans see this as a legacy cash-out for Manny, but experts warn this could be the toughest, most dangerous comeback fight Pacquiao could have taken. And now, the countdown begins. This fight has lit a fire under the boxing world, and the opinions are just as explosive. Amir Khan, who sparred over 300 rounds with Manny Pacquiao and has trained alongside Mario Barrios, respects Pacquiao as both a fighter and a friend. But when it comes to this comeback, Khan is brutally honest. "I wouldn't advise him to return against someone active. If anything, he should fight another retired fighter, someone like me. But Barrios? That's dangerous," Khan told Sky Sports. Robert Garcia, one of boxing's most respected trainers, didn't sugarcoat it either. Barrios is young. He's the champion. Pacquiao is 46. That's like me getting back in the ring, and I'm 49. I couldn't do it. Even Terence Crawford, who's preparing for a legacy-defining showdown with Canelo Alvarez, gave the matchup a cautious nod. It's a 50-50th fight. Barrios is a great matchup for Manny, but at that age, anything can happen. And that's exactly the point. Anything can happen. Which makes this not just a high-stakes fight, but a high-risk one. For the first time since 2018, Freddie Roach is back in Manny Pacquiao's corner. Their legendary partnership, once fractured, is suddenly reunited. Roach, who coached Pacquiao through 34 fights over 16 years, helped guide him to victories over icons like De La Hoya, Cotto, and Bradley. Their relationship took a turn after Pacquiao's controversial loss to Jeff Horn, and the pair eventually split. Now, 7 years later, they're back together. Older, maybe wiser, and now facing a whole new generation of boxing threats. To some fans, it's a beautiful full-circle moment, a rekindling of one of boxing's most iconic partnerships. To others, it's a nostalgic gesture that won't mean much once the bell rings. Either way, Roach's return adds another layer of intrigue to this already unpredictable story. If Pacquiao has any chance of pulling off the impossible, it will be with Freddie Roach in his corner, whispering strategies between rounds, just like the old days. But for all the talk of Mario Barrios, many believe he's not the final target. According to longtime Pacquiao promoter Sean Gibbons, there's a much bigger name lurking in the background, Gerontic Tank Davis. In a recent interview, Gibbons didn't hold back. When he beats Mario Barrios, line them up. Manny has wanted that fight for a long time. So while July 19th is about surviving Barrios, the real storm may be just beginning. For years, Gerontic Tank Davis kept making excuses, mostly about weight. But now, the door is wide open. Pacquiao'sg team sees the Mario Barrios fight as more than just a comeback. It's a launchpad. A chance to reclaim a world title and position Manny for the mega fight he's chased for years. The narrative? One last super fight. One last payday. One last mountain to climb. But the Davis situation isn't so simple. Tank is entangled in drama of his own, preparing for a controversial rematch with Lamont Roach Jr., a bout that fans demanded after their chaotic first fight ended in uproar. At the same time, Davis is being linked to a potential crossover clash with Jake Paul, a spectacle rumored to take place before year's end. So where does that leave Pacquiao? Some believe he's chasing legacy, hungry to add one final iconic name to his already stacked resume. Others argue it's all about leverage, securing high-profile paydays while the spotlight still burns bright. But one thing is certain: if Pacquiao beats Barrios, the world will be watching who he calls out next. Beneath the buzz, headlines, and press conferences lies a growing unease in the boxing world. Not everyone is celebrating Pacquiao's return. Veteran promoter Frank Warren has become one of the fight's most vocal critics. In a scathing interview, he said, "It's not boxing doing this, it's the sanctioning bodies." He hasn't fought professionally in 4 years, and now he's walking straight into a world title shot? That's not how sports should work. For Warren and others, this isn't about competition, it's about commerce. They argue the fight wasn't made because it was earned, but because it would sell tickets, pay-per-views, headlines. They call it nostalgia-driven matchmaking, a business deal disguised as a boxing event. There's also the question of Pacquiao's health. At 46 years old, after a brutal career that spanned more than 3 decades, critics are wondering, how much more can his body take? Especially against a fresher, younger champion like Barrios. And then there's the emotional factor, the one thing no punch stat can measure. Many believe Manny isn't coming back because he has something left to prove, but because he misses it. The roar of the crowd, the rush of fight night, the spotlight. Even Amir Khan, once a rival and now a close friend, acknowledged it. "I think Manny misses the love, the attention, the spotlight." But just because the market wants Pacquiao, doesn't mean it's the right reason to fight. And yet, tickets are flying. Social media is buzzing. Millions will be watching, whether the critics like it or not. This isn't just another title bout. It's a collision of eras, past versus present, legacy versus ambition, memory versus reality. If Pacquiao wins, he'll become the oldest welterweight world champion in history, again. He already set that record in 2019 when he beat Keith Thurman at age 40. But now, at 46, he could shatter his own milestone and carve a legacy so deep, not even time could erase it. That kind of victory doesn't just make headlines. It creates leverage, massive leverage. Money fights, rematches, global exhibitions. Even that long-teased clash with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. All of it becomes possible. It would be the mic drop moment of an unparalleled career. The final punctuation mark. But if he loses, the risk is brutal. A devastating defeat could stain the legend he spent decades building. The sport is littered with heroes who stayed too long. And all it takes is one punch from a hungry, younger champion to change everything. His health, his legacy, his aura of invincibility, all on the line. And that is what makes this fight electric. It's not just about winning or losing. It's about what this fight represents. A win makes history. A loss becomes the end of it. So, what are we witnessing on July 19th? Is this the final act of greatness? The underdog's last stand? One last night to remind the world who Manny Pacquiao is? Or is it a story that never should have been written? A dangerous epilogue to a perfect legacy? For every fan thrilled to see Manny walk out to the anthem, gloves on, one last time, there's another praying he walks away before it's too late. The boxing world is split. The experts are divided. Even his peers don't know what to believe. But one thing is undeniable: everyone will be watching. Whether Manny Pacquiao pulls off the impossible or becomes a cautionary tale under the bright lights of Las Vegas. This fight will be talked about for years. July 19th. He could make history or become it.